There's no doubt about that. But if people want to have a lasting income, Julie, right? Then the only way to do that is to have a real business, right? Like no one is going to go work for a company, right? You're going to go and interview for a job only to find out, well, the company's going to disappear 90 days later. Like who would want that, right? Who'd want to waste time every 90 days? You have to find a different job, a different job, a different job, a different. After a while, you get fed up, right? And so, to me, it's the same in looking for an opportunity, looking for a business that you can, grow with. You can't grow in 90 days. You know what I mean? You can't grow in 6 months. You can't grow in 1 year. Not generating the type of income that you're looking for. Right. So a real business takes time for all of that to happen. And so that's why you want to align yourself with a real company, right? A company that actually have real products, a company that actually generates revenue by the sale of these products, not because you're recruiting people, not because money's just being, falling out of the sky. You know what I mean? There has to be sound financial, economical principles that govern your business, right? And so we know with ONPASSIVE, we're making money because we're selling products. If we have no products to sell, we're not making any money. If we're just sitting here right now and there's no sales going on, then we're not making any money. That's a real business because that's how it works. If you go open up a stall and you're selling some fruits and vegetables, right? If nobody come inside there, are you making money? Absolutely not, right? You need people to come in and to purchase whatever it is that you're offering, right? And that's how you make money. ONPASSIVE is no different. And so we want to have that long-lasting income, right? I don't know why these people are really trying to get a hold of me, Julie. I guess they don't know my schedule. Okay, right? So, you have to, in order to have that long-lasting income, right? We want to make sure that we've lined ourselves with a company that's going to be here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. People go to their work, right? Their careers, and it's usually over 40 plus years, right? No one works for 10 years. Okay, I retired now. No, that's usually not the case. The beauty about ONPASSIVE is that we don't have to trade our time for the money. We don't have to put in 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. We don't have to work 3, 4 different jobs. ONPASSIVE is a business that is here to help us generate wealth by being in that reseller mode where we're selling products, Julie. And as a result of that, we can see our income grow, even while we're sleeping, right? And that's a beautiful thing because that's how you create true wealth. True wealth cannot be created in a 9-to-5 job. It cannot be created by you exchanging your time for money because unless you're, charging $10,000 an hour or something, you know what I mean? Like it just can't be done. You have a fixed amount of time. And with that fixed amount of time, how much can you possibly charge for your service, right? And so if you want to generate that wealth, it has to come from outside your typical working hours, right? And this is where the automation comes in, Julie. This is where the artificial intelligence come in to be able to do all the tasks that is needed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That is how you generate wealth. Because if you think about it, do the numbers, take, whatever small amount of commission that you want to, use as your example, right? And just look at activities going on day in, day out, every single day. There's a little activity, there's a little bit of sales, a little bit of sales, a little bit of sales. And it just goes on 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, right? Like I said, small amount of seeds, they eventually add up. Into something massive, Julie, that people can rest assured and be comfortable knowing that, there's this technology, there's this company called ONPASSIVE that is working on their behalf, right? They don't have to be present. There is no physical place for them to go and say, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to start. We're talking about a digital business. We're talking about being on the internet, right? So I can be in any country I want to be. I can be in Bora Bora, Julie, and still generating income while I'm in Bora Bora and in some nice beach. I can be in Tahiti, wherever, right? That's what Capmo is all about. Be able to have a complete automated business, right? When we say complete automated, that includes the traffic, Because if your business is automated, but there's no traffic that's coming to it, then it's not really automated, is it? Right? There's still work that you need to do. So you want that complete picture, that complete process taken care of for you, because you're not the expert. You don't have the expertise. You don't know where to go find traffic. You don't know where to find visitors. You don't know where to find people that's looking for what you have. And you can't put the technology together. You can't create the products, right? And so on. So if you have a company that can do all of that for you, that's what you want, Julie. That's the ideal situation. And we have exactly that in ONPASSIVE, right? We say systems are corrupt, but it's the people. It's not really the systems, right? It's the people, because the people are the ones who create the systems. Okay. And so, if you don't have people that actually care about others running that company, right, that business, you're just going to go down the path like all of the businesses before. Okay. And we know that path, doesn't lead to success for everyone. It's not a win-win situation. That's the path that leads to success for a handful of people, right? And so that's important. So it's important to have a CEO such as Ash Mufarah, right? Our CEO, goes above and beyond what is necessary for us to succeed, right? He's working tireless hours, a lot of hours put in, time away from his family. Even if he's at home and working from home, right, and the family's there, he's still away from them because he has to focus on the task at hand, right? I work from home, but it doesn't mean that I'm with my family every single hour of the day, right? I'm in my office, I close the door, they're not seeing me. Yeah, they know that I'm here, but they're not seeing me. We're not spending quality time together, right? And so you have someone with that mindset, to do it or die, that they're willing to put everything into this business because it means so much, right? So you have the CEO, then you have the staff. You have Muhammad Kamal, you have Muhammad Nazal, or marketing guru. We have Dr. Susan, and the list goes on, Julie, of all the great staff partners, if you wish, that we have in ONPASSIVE that is working tirelessly. You mentioned Jitex Global. Okay. And we've seen the videos from there, right? And, just think of the time and energy that goes into that, right? To come up with the ideas of how to present ONPASSIVE, in such a massive platform, right? All these things, it takes time and energy, Julie, and it can be draining after a while. You're flying from one country to another country and so on, right? To be able to, have the teams right, in Hyderabad, India, in Dubai, Singapore, Egypt, to have the teams working together, even though they're not face to face. It's a lot that goes in there. To be in the U.S. and you're working with a staff that is, 9.5 hours time difference. It takes a lot. These are things that a lot of people don't think about because you're just focused on yourself usually, right? You're just thinking about, well, okay, I go to bed, I wake up, I'm good. Okay. But while you're sleeping, there are people working on your behalf, right? While you're awake, there are people working on your behalf. When you're at your job, there are people working on your behalf. When you're spending time with your family, there are people away from their family that are working on your behalf, So you have to have the right set of people, Julie. People who are ethical, people who want to do things the right way, people who would take their time to make sure it's done correctly, right? So that we put our best foot forward, so that when we present our products, when we present to the marketplace, people are getting the best of us. They're getting the most value for their buck, right? Even in products that are free, Julie, what they're getting is worth far more than free, right? There's a cost to it. Okay. And so the company absorbed that cost to give it to the customer so that they can, enhance their situation, right? The paid products. Okay. You make things that are wonderful, that are fantastic, that people love, but yet you minimize the cost to them, Julie, so that you're not, sucking money from their pocket unnecessarily, right? So it's all these things that come together that make ONPASSIVE what it is today. And we could see, the giant leaps to come as a result of all of that, though. Because once you lay that foundation, Julie, right, and if you have a solid foundation, you're unmovable, right? Unless some, I don't know, 10.0 earthquake comes, you know what I mean? Like, we are so grounded, right? ONPASSIVE is so stable, solid foundation. It doesn't get any more firm than what we have, Julie. And that's important if you want to make life-changing income. We don't want to be in a company that's going to disappear a year, 2 years, 3 years. We know most new companies, they fail, right? Most companies fail in the first 5 years. Okay, that's just factual. That's just how it is. Okay, but when we look at ONPASSIVE, all we can see is the next giant. That's all we can see, because it is that big and it is that successful already. Wait for another year, Julie. Right, a year from now, can you imagine? Right. So as it becomes more and more adaptable, as more and more people, you touched on earlier at the beginning of the show when we talked about the app. The OES app, right? So imagine having an app for each of the products that we'll have, right? Again, making things more accessible, more easy for the end user, for the customer, right? And this is how you build an empire, Julie. And we are a part of this, right? On our own, there's no way we could come up with something like this, right? But here's a company that's willing to give and share with us. Even though we're not doing the heavy lifting, they're willing to share with us, Julie. That's just fantastic. So I love Catmo, and I love them. Just a nice recipe for success, right? A nice recipe for a 7-course meal, Julie.
For life, Michael.
A 7-course meal is not the norm, right? I think most people have a 1-course meal, right? 7-course meal is not the norm. Even at some high-end restaurants, they don't even offer a 7-course meal. But that's just try to help people understand what ONPASSIVE is. It is out of this world. It really is that once in a lifetime opportunity, right? And I'm so grateful that so many, right, hundreds of thousands, have embraced it, or paying attention to it, are, being engaged, right? Because you just have to. You don't want to miss it, right? You don't want to miss anything. This is why, like, every day is an ONPASSIVE day. Like every day is, right? Because you don't want to miss anything at all. Because down the road, when people are talking about ONPASSIVE, the smile that's going to come on your face, because of a sense of pride, right? You're going to be so proud that, I was there behind the scenes, for 5 years in the making before we open up to the all these stories are going to come out, and people will, well, I know you're going to cry, right? But a lot of other people will be shedding tears of joy, of course. Just because of going through the process, Julie, and understanding that, wow, this is actually real. Like, you're actually part of this, because someone said, you know what, I'm gonna do things different, right? It is possible that all of us can win. We don't have to be in a competitive state where we're fighting each other for crumbs. There's more than enough that is there for all of us to be able to have our full. So it's just incredible, right? There's no doubt about that. And so as we move forward, Julie, and people start to engage with the automation, starting to see how things are going to be easier for them. People who were unable in the past to generate even one customer will be able to close their eyes and actually generate customer while they're sleeping. That's how simple this business model is. But again, just like everything else, there's time involved, right? It's certainly not overnight. 5 years is not overnight. In the big picture, in the grand scheme of things, yes, it is from a business standpoint, right? But for people's life, no, 5 years isn't it's not a blink. but it's well worth the wait, right? Can you imagine you're sitting there and, you're at the restaurant and the meal is going to be good because it's a top chef and, nice and, fancy place, all of that. And you're sitting there just anticipating what that food is going to taste like, Julie, and all of a sudden it's delivered and you dig in and you're just speechless because it's so good, right? Think of your favorite food, whether it's a meal, whether it's a dessert, an appetizer, whatever the case may be, just your favorite meal. Think of that, right? And just think about the first time you've had that meal, you've tasted it, right? And how you felt. You know what I mean? This is on passive, folks. This is on passive. This is what we have in our hands. And if you're out there and you're not a part of on passive, you are missing out, right? This is somewhere you definitely have to, experience, right? You have to experience it for yourself. It's one thing when someone tells you about something, but when you actually experience it for yourself, like I can sit there and tell you all about Tahiti as an example, Julie. Okay, but if you've never been there yourself, it's just not the same, right? But when you've actually experienced it, right, then we can talk. Then we can actually relate. We can be on that same level because both of us have experienced it. That's on passive. People have to experience it for themselves.
Yeah. It is so satisfying, and sitting here, I'm having a question for myself and also for everyone that listening to this. Have you ever experienced the happiness in your heart, the true happiness, not just on top, not just on the surface, but when is it that you actually truly felt your heart happy, like literally heart and mind happy, and you don't have to worry about a thing? I believe, Michael, with OnPassive, with all the automation, with everything that is going in to OnPassive, with that complete circle that I was talking about, there won't be much of competitions. There won't be much of corruptions. There won't be, because everybody get to complete their freedom equation, right? We talked about freedom equation in this program, right? You create that momentum and you keep going, and when you finish, when you complete that circle, when you complete that freedom equation, you have a very satisfying heart and mind, and all you do is be the best of you, what you're created for, what you're putting in this world is for. And truly, deep down my heart, everybody in this world, if they're on passive, or if they are being with the people that are on passive, they will experience that freedom of life, freedom of the total freedom, what we're talking about. And you can only find it within on passive. You have to be in that circle, that complete circle. And we're very grateful for the opportunity to be here, for the time being here, and for the people behind OnPassive that continuously working 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to deliver this to the world. And truly, what we said before, OnPassive is truly a gift that keep on giving, whether or not you are the end users or you choose to be an affiliate. It is a gift that keep on giving.
And it's a gift that I wholeheartedly receive, Julie. Receive it with open arms.
Yep.
Because, there are not too many gifts in life, right? From people outside of your circle. People don't walk around and say, "Oh, here you go. You get a gift and you get a gift." We're not Oprah, okay? So it doesn't work like that, right? In real life, But when I look at this, all I think about, Julie, is that no one really wants to work, week after week, month after month, year after year, to get little pay and at some point retire, but yet not really retired. You know what I mean? If we think of people who are, 65 and older, so many of them, they struggle, right? And can you imagine you've worked for 40 years and then you're still struggling after working for so long? That it blows my mind, right? It really blows my mind. For that to happen for people. You work for a company for so long, and yet they're unable to take care of you, right? You've paid taxes for so long, and yet the government can't take care of you, right? Because the government don't have no money. I mean, but that's another story, right? The point is, no one wants to be in that situation, Julie, right? And this is why millions of people go searching, right? They're searching for a way out. They try this, they try that. People try options trading, people try forex trading, people try real estate. They tried MLM, network marketing. People try so many different things, Julie, and it's always the same result: failure after failure after failure after failure. And even though so many are failing, you still have new people venturing in those same ventures that's going to give them the same results that the other folks have been receiving, which is failure after failure after failure, right? And so this is why, for me, I will run around, not literally running around, but basically approach as many people as I possibly can to share the good news about ONPASSIVE, how you can have this complete automated business that's going to do the task that is needed, right, to help you finally win, right? And so that message has resonated with 1.4 million plus. And that message continues to resonate with people, Julie, because they're still searching, right? So my thing to them is that your search is over.
Yeah.
ONPASSIVE, a one-stop shop. It's all you really need, right? Whatever you're looking for financially, it can provide it, right? So, since I know that, right? Because some people may not know it, Julie, right? But I certainly know it. Okay. I'm so confident in sharing it with people. Come get a free account and just take a look at what we have to offer. It's as simple as that. They come to take a look, and they start to understand what ONPASSIVE is about. They start to see for themselves, Julie, that it is different, that it isn't the same as A, B, C, D, E that they've tried before. Because there is no trying in ONPASSIVE. There isn't. There's no trying, right? Because to succeed, right, the roadmap is clear. All you have to do is to be in, right? And you're going to succeed. Be in. Follow the steps, follow the guidelines, be in tune with what is needed. It's simple. This is why someone who's 80 years old can win with ONPASSIVE. Someone who's 18 years old can win with ONPASSIVE, right? This is the beauty about this business, Julie. It is for everyone, everywhere, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what country you're in. This business is for you. Over 190 plus countries represented in ONPASSIVE. Why? Because it just makes sense. It just makes sense, Julie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am experiencing the freedom right now because of ONPASSIVE.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. ONPASSIVE is home, Julie.
Absolutely.
People just need to get it. And if they don't get it, what can we say?
Yes, it's a home that everybody love each other, right? It's a home that's full of satisfaction, fulfillment. So,
yeah, you're going to have some people, Julie, that they say they want success, but they really don't. Mm-hmm. Some people are actually scared of it, right? They're scared of what will happen if they, okay, if I become wealthy, oh my gosh, so many people are going to want from me. It's a good problem to have.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
To be wealthy is a good problem to have.
Yes. And when that happens, you have to go back into the core of this business. What is the core of ONPASSIVE? Not to make us tons of money. What is the core of this business? It's to lift up humanity. And it
Absolutely.
is so important for all of us to continue to walk in this journey and know that is the core of my business. We're talking about automation. We're talking about the technology. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about financial freedom. But if we don't focus on the core of this business, those stuffs are meaningless, right? You can have the people behind the scene working so wholeheartedly with all their heart, their mind, their talent to do that. But once you receive the gift and then you take those for granted, right? So always we got to go back to the core of this business is to lift up humanity. And so that is a message we wanted to continue to say to people. It's not about, have a business to live the rest of your life, but it's about lifting up humanity. And I think that's really true, important. So what is your takeaway from ONPASSIVE as of this point? That is the questions that we all have to ask ourselves. And yesterday I was in the Hero webinar, and the questions that I'm asking everybody is, what is ONPASSIVE to you? Right? So those are the questions that we need to focusing on, answer it, and be able to I guess communicate with other, be able to share that with other, with your conviction of what is ONPASSIVE, what is the core of this business for you.
That is something that resonates with a lot of people, Julie. To be able to uplift humanity, to be able to help your brothers and sisters, to help your neighbor. It is something that is universal, right? And when you can get that from a company, from a business, it will just grow like wildfire, right? Mr. Ashmafara was smart, brilliant, I would say, to be able to get so many to come along, because it will spread that much faster. You'll be able to help way more people, Julie, by starting out with 1.4 million versus starting out with one, right? Just think about that, right? Just think of the multiplying factor that comes into that. That's how you get to reach every country around the globe. Can you imagine if it was only just for Americans, or just for Canadians, right? But being in 190 plus countries, there's a founder, right? A founding member, an early adapter, right? That's in like every country, right? So you already have someone there with the seed in them, right? To be able to go out and plant and be able to have wealth blossom throughout that particular country just by being a giver, right? Taking their newfound wealth and starting to give. And give, not taking cash and here you go, but give within the community based upon what that community needs. Maybe the community needs, clean water as an example. Okay, so being able to put in place a system that can provide clean water to that community. Maybe it's education, right? So be able to provide academy as an example, right? Whereby they can stay right where they are and receive the necessary education that they need. And the list goes on and on. People that are homeless. Okay, maybe it's to be able to use that newfound wealth to help people get off the streets, find proper shelter, affordable shelter, right? And so on, right? That's what ONPASSIVE is about at its core, right? At its core, be able to help you be in a position where you can now be that giver, right? So it's just brilliant how this model has been put together, Julie. And we've seen it already. We've experienced it already, right? Just a little bit, okay? But we've experienced people helping people already, right? And so, that's just going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to mushroom into a much larger, success as we start to reach out and help people around the globe. That's the best part about ONPASSIVE. It really is. It's not just for me. It's not just for you. It's not just for us. But as we take that newfound wealth and we spread it around, Julie, there's so much that we can accomplish, because we know that there's more than enough here for every single person, almost 8 billion people on this planet. There's more than enough. There's no shortage, right? There's only shortage because people hoard. People keep stuff to themselves. People are selfish. People are greedy, right? ONPASSIVE doesn't have any of those things in it, right? ONPASSIVE is about giving, right? And as you said, it's the gift that keeps on giving, So I look forward to the years ahead of us, Julie. It's going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Do make sure that you check out our ONPASSIVE YouTube channel. There's a lot of videos coming out in regarding to the GITEC. It's beautiful messages from our COO, our CMO, and Dr. Susan as well. Please check those out. Thank you so much for being here. We do hope that you enjoyed this topic today, and we look forward to see you next time. Thanks so much, Michael. Enjoy your day, the rest of it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank everyone for being here with us. And certainly we look forward to next Monday.
Sure.
I love it, Julie.
Me too. Really enjoy this. Take care, everyone. Stay well and stay safe.